We're going to talk about searches. So let's go to the main searches menu up here in the left, and let's talk about the various different options. Saved searches and saved hot sheets allow you to go in and very quickly access any saved searches or hot sheets that you have. We're going to create at least one of each in the next little section here. So a very useful tool. You can very quickly go back and run a search or run a hot sheet. Recent hot sheets, it's a relatively new tool. Personally, I don't find it terribly useful. As you can see, all it does is show you what type of search it was. I really don't find myself using it, but it allows you to see the most recent searches you've done. The hot sheet, we're going to have a whole section on the hot sheet and its uses and what have you. Quick and standard. Okay, now quick, quite frankly, is a worthless search. There are 8 fields in a standard search that are not in a quick search. The point being that the quick search is not even a nanosecond quicker than the standard search. And one of Murphy's rules is that if you use the quick search, you'll desperately want one of the missing 8 fields. So my advice, don't use the quick search. If you're going to do it, use the standard search. Now, custom search is something we'll cover in class 3. And this does allow you to create a genuinely quick search. So if you want to create your own quick search, come back to class 3 and I'll show you how to do it using the custom search. Now the radius search, and please do not get me wrong here, okay, the radius search, or let's say a radius search, is a phenomenally useful search, and it's one that you're going to do just about every day that you're in real estate. But do not do it in the radius search. The reason is that the radius search will not actually show you what's included in your radius, whereas the map has a radius search that will graphically show you what's in your radius. So unless you're incredibly good at visualizing what a 1 mile circle around a property is, use the map search and not the radius search. And in fact, we're going to have a whole section on the map search because it's probably the only search that you really need to learn. If you can master the map search, you're going to be in great shape. It's going to be a wonderful tool and you use it every day. In fact, you'll see when we get to the map search that the map search is basically the standard search with a map. It's pretty obvious, but it's a great tool. Okay, now address. We saw when we looked at the home page that we have the speed search and we have the listing locator, both of which are great ways of looking for a single address. But let's say you want to look for a range of addresses. So let's say you're looking for a condo on South Orange Grove in Pasadena. You can put in 200 through 1200 South Orange Grove, and then I want to have a condominium and blah blah blah. So this is a great way of searching a range of addresses, but if you're looking for a single address, the speed search is way quicker. Listing number, again, speed search, listing locator, both blow this away for speed. It essentially allows you to put in 20 different listing numbers, but since you can do that just by putting commas in between in the speed search or the listing locator, frankly I wouldn't suggest it's very useful. The tax ID search, this one is kind of confusing because we've got a tax ID search here in the searches menu, and then we've got a tax search up here under tax. So what's the deal? Okay, if you do a tax search, you are not searching the MLS database, you are searching the assessor's records. So doing a tax search, you'll find any property regardless of whether it's ever been listed. Whereas doing a tax ID search, you will find only properties that either have been listed or are listed now or have been listed in our history. So when you run a tax ID search, you're searching the MLS database, not the assessor's database. You do not have to use all 10 digits, so you can search, for example, by map book, which is a very quick way of specifying an area. And your title rep can probably help you with assessor's map book numbers if you need that help. Okay, open house. Every listing agent has the ability to put in multiple open houses for their listings. They're mappable and searchable by the public. A wonderfully good tool if you're a listing agent. Before you go and put your open house in the LA Times or whatever, put it here because it's a great tool and it's one we should all use more often. And lastly, the agent office allows you to search any agent in carats, not just ITEC, but in carats. So you'll find about 95,000 agents in here. So if you want to find the contact information for someone, this is a great way to go. Now before we go, let's just go and look at the maps tab. because there are actually two things in here. Now the Maps map search is exactly the same as the Searches map. Okay, they're identical. So you can either go to Searches map or Maps map search and you'll get the same functionality. The Map Explorer is something different. It's basically a visual way of looking at the data in our MLS. It's a great tool to start a conversation with a new client with, and we actually cover that in class 2. Okay, so we looked at the various different items in the searches menu. The two key ones are the map and the standard. And basically the map is a standard search with a map. So really I would say that you should focus in on the map. And as I say, we're going to have a whole section on using the map, and that's the next thing we'll do. Thank you.